you've been watching my previous videos, you know all what's going on here. If you haven't, then I think it's pretty self-explanatory. I'm in my shed playing about with a motorbike. I don't feel like I've been doing anything in any particular order. It's more just what feels right or what package turns up on that particular day and I go about fitting it. So I'm just fitting this exhaust, which has come from an Australian supplier, Van Diemen exhaust. They are from Wollongong, which is on the coast south of Sydney. And as you can see, really high quality finish on the system. They even supply this really cool little spring tool. This Van Diemen exhaust system that I'm using is designed to be able to go on a road legal CBR1000. So the muffler would mount to the passenger's foot peg bracket. As I have it on the racetrack, I haven't got that bracket, so I'm going to have to fabricate something up myself to hold the muffler in place. So Evotech, which are a UK company, make these radiator and oil cooler protection guards. They're lightweight aluminium, laser cut and folded perfectly to match your desired fit. They've even got little rubber inserts here to stop vibrations and make it stay in place more securely. If something goes wrong, so it's good to have it. Update is that I've got it to a position where I think it could start. So I don't have to start it. There's lots of other jobs I could do, obviously, to finish it, but my intrigue is getting the better of me and I want to see it, hear it. So let's see what happens. I haven't tightened the inches up tight. Don't worry, started on fast. Yeah. People seem quite surprised that I've taken on this task and that I have the skills to be able to see it through. I think having been in racing as long as I have, it's hard not to have learned something along the way, but I've also got this natural draw to learning about mechanical side of motorcycles. I've always had an interest, and because I've wanted to do better at racing, I've always thought the more I know about the bike and the more I can do on it myself, the better my chances are for success. So it's kind of one's worked with the other, and I feel like I've had a better career for having learned more about the mechanical side than if I'd just taken a back seat and only rode the bike and not paid attention to how it works. It also gives you a bit of mechanical sympathy because it's not so bad these days, but it's still something to consider is that, you know, if you overstress the bike, you can, you know, have it break and not finish the race. So having a good understanding of how it works can also have multiple benefits.
Adjusted it and I hated it. But
Like
there's
that.
nothing we could do.
I can do it, but I want to be able to keep my hand on the bar and
It's
just,
the way it's supposed to be, right?
and then you can look ahead
You
and
don't
just
even
use the
think
feel.
about
You don't
it,
have to think
yeah.
about it.
It actually looks like a race bike now.
The only thing that's still not right is this thumb brake needs to go further in, but it can't. So I'm going to have to do something with the lever.
Further in.
Yeah, I'll be forever bashing into it. It just needs to go that way, but I'll have to trim this. You've got to trim that one down. Yeah, so if I cut off of there and cut off of there, then they can slide together more. So as you know, all the packages arrived yesterday. So now I've had a full day at working on this, and you can tell by the state of my overalls, I have been working. I've done so many little things that I can't go over every single detail, but I'll try and summarize generally what I've been doing today. So put the exhaust on, fitted the radiator and the oil cooler guard and the radiator guard. Handlebars were on, but fitted a lot of the controls. So switch blocks, rain light switch, thumb brake, span adjuster for the front brake, switch block on the right hand side, front brake, master cylinder, catch bottles, lots and lots of zip ties to try and tidy everything. One thing where I did fail is the span between the bolts on the front brake caliper on this particular bike are 100 mil, where Hondas are traditionally 108. So the calipers that I got from Hell are 108 and don't fit this bike. So we're going to have to look at getting another set of calipers from them that do fit. But in the meantime, I've put the originals back on. Also, you've got to spend quite a lot of time around the front end of the bike that nothing interferes when you go from lock to lock. So I'm quite happy with that, especially with how much stuff is around the front. It's very easy for things to interfere with each other. I've started getting the panels that you can see on the bike more fixed and more permanent. It seems that nothing with motorbikes is just bolt on, or most things that it needs a little grind or a little drill hole or something. Everything always needs a little bit of work to make it all fit. So every time you go to fit something, a 5-minute job turns into a half an hour job. But that's where we're up to. It's mandatory nowadays to have engine crash protection in racing. So we use the GB racing covers, and they're really easy to fit. They come with the hardware that you need, and you just take out a couple of your original bolts and put it in position, and then with the bolts applied, you can fit them easily. It's the 1st of December, so I've had to take a break from the motorcycle and go and cut down a tree. Go that way, Spider. We're having this tree. And the tree has grown at a place called Luddenham Raceway. So it's quite fitting that even our Christmas tree comes from a racetrack. From that, you can see I've had the engine running and everything seems to be pretty much in order now. So there's a lot of faffing around, just getting little bits tensioned correctly and tidying up. That seems to be ongoing. The only final big job to do was to fit the bodywork, but this material from Carbonin was already fitted in the UK by Ben at Dow Racing. So I'm not sure how much grinding or cutting or drilling he had to do, but I haven't had to do anything at all really. There was a little bit I had to trim for the exhaust because exhaust is different, but other than that, it's been perfect fit, and you can see that it's the finish is unreal. So really pleased with this product at this point. I definitely don't consider myself a painter, but I have the equipment because I have painted some engine cases, some dirt bike frames, car wheels and other bits and pieces. So I'm not scared to have a go. The idea is mostly in my head, so we'll just have to see how it evolves as I start to spray. And I actually think it hasn't turned out too bad. If you were to take a picture of it with a phone camera with the flash on and I'm doing 100 mile an hour, I think it'll look quite good. Everyone in the UK is unfortunately familiar with the rain lights that we fit on the back of the race bikes, but it's come in quite handy because these races I'm doing now here are at night time and we need to have a rear facing light. So I've had a lot of comments on the video about the thumb brake, so I feel like I need to go into a bit more detail about why we have it and how it works. So the thumb brakes here, this particular unit is from Hell Performance. It mounts onto the fork. You can get one that mounts onto the handlebar, and it just moves the rear brake up to the handlebar position, because traditionally a motorcycle always has the rear brake down at the right hand foot location, but your foot can be quite clumsy. So I've found that you have far better sense of pressure and feel with your hand. So we move the rear brake up to the handlebar, and then when you're accelerating out of a corner and the bike's trying to wheelie or off the start, you can apply the rear brake and control the wheelie without having to roll off the throttle so much. It's a bit sticky still. And to leave it. So I've had a busy couple of days and I don't feel like I've given many updates on how the bike's been going. As you can see, I've painted it, and for someone of my skill level, I think I did okay. It doesn't look the best, but I think it came out pretty good. A few other little bits and pieces. So I've got Light Tech fuel cap has been fitted. That's because the standard one you need a key and it's a bit bulky, so this is more racetrack style. Also the rear sets again are from Light Tech. These have come from Beretta Imports here in Australia. There's quite a few footrest position options. I've played around with it, a few positions, but I think until I ride it, I won't know for sure that final position. I've also put chain and sprockets on. I just bought the ones that I thought looked good. And we still have to print some stickers, and I think that'll really change the look of the bike a lot once it's got stickers on it, because at the moment it kind of looks a bit dull, and I think stickers and number and so on will really enhance the look of the bike. So dictate the angle. I think I was right. The stickers have boosted the look of the bike, and I know it's just cosmetics, but I think it's important that you feel good about how the bike looks. So I thank everybody that's come and joined in on this journey, and now we have probably the biggest and most important question to answer, and that is, how is it going to do on track?